Stagg H.S. winter show, Picasso at the Lapin Agile. Please silence all homes and don't use flash photography. Pump cakes will be sold at the end of the show. Enjoy the show.
There's something in the air tonight.
Ta-ra-ra boom-de-ray, 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 ta-ra-ra boom-de-ray.
Well, Gaston, you sound like you're out of your bad mood.
Yes, darn it! Woke up this morning good mood. Nothing I could do about it. Ta-ra-ra boom-de-ray, ta-ra-ra boom-de-ray. Damn my memory, what's the next lyric?
Well, I don't know. If I had to guess, it would be ta-ra-ra boom-de-ray.
Great song. I wonder who wrote it.
Two guys from Bombay, Tara and Rabundere.
I have to pee.
Already? You haven't had a drink yet.
Always sitting there. I'm to meet a woman.
Oh, shut your face, you little pipsqueak.
Hey, you don't even know him.
I have a feeling.
Still, you can't just insult someone out of the blue.
But I'm French.
Do you have absinthe?
One absent, come on.
I'm to meet her at 6 o'clock at the Bar Rouge.
Bar Rouge? This is not the Bar Rouge. This is the Lapin Agile.
No difference.
No difference?
Well, you see, I'm a theorist, and the way I see it is that there's just as much chance of her wandering into here accidentally as there's of her wandering into the Bar Rouge on purpose. Where I meet her is of no importance. It is of no importance of what time I'm to meet her. And least of all, is of importance of where I tell her I will be.
Unless?
Unless what?
Unless you really want to meet her.
I don't follow.
If you really want to meet her, you'll go to the Bar Rouge at the time you specified.
Ah, but you're forgetting something.
What's that?
She thinks like I do.
Here's your bottle.
I asked for absinthe.
No difference.
I can describe the woman you're waiting for.
So can I.
But I've never seen her. I can describe her face, her clothes, her smell even.
Go ahead.
But I need something.
Like what?
Women are my area of expertise, and like the paleontologist, I can reconstruct the creature from a bone. But I need a hint.
How did you get to be such an expert?
By looking.
Ah, so you're an admirer of the feminine equation.
Yes, I look, but I never touch, and that way I glide among them invisible. So I need that hint.
Ah, hint. She has long black hair.
One of those. She runs you, doesn't she? She'll sit over there and cross her legs and control the room. She's controlling it now. Look at us talking all about her and her long black hair.
Oh, you sure know a lot about women.
Never met one, really.
Never met one?
Not in my new incarnation as an older man. Women respond differently to men of different ages. I'm only newly old. My name is Gaston.
My name is Albert Einstein.
You can't be. You just can't be.
Oh, I'm not myself today. Better?
No, that's not what I mean. In order of appearance.
Come again?
You're not third. Can I borrow your program? Look, it says so right here. Cast in order of appearance. You're not third. You're fourth. I knew something was wrong when you walked in.
And yet you said nothing?
Well, I couldn't put my finger on it, but now I can.
I take your point. Toilets!
Behind that door.
Thank you.
Sorry I'm late.
You're not late. You're third.
Where were you?
At home, darling.
Doing what?
Sitting in front of a mirror.
Why?
Just looking. Seeing what all the fuss is about. Besides, a mirror is like a mind. If you don't use it, it loses the power to reflect.
Well, you should really try and be on time, sweetheart.
Don't be so old-fashioned. These are the zeros.
But this is the fourth time you've been late.
Are we gonna fight? Freddie? Oh, let's not fight. Let's be in love like yesterday. So tomorrow I can say, let's be in love like yesterday. Always, always.
Okay, always.
I'll be sitting there. I'm to meet someone. A woman. I'm to meet her at 6 o'clock at the Bar Rouge. Happy now?
Bar Rouge? This is not the Hey, Gaston, see any good ones today?
Saw a good one yesterday as the shops were closing. I tried to hold her in my memory, but she faded. All I remember now is a white linen blouse with just a whisper of Viscere underneath, like a sweet custard through a veil of meringue.
I heard Picasso comes here. Does he?
Sometimes.
Tonight.
Maybe.
Look away. You look away too. I guess you're alright. Okay.
Damn!
What's the matter?
Now I have to consider everything I'm wearing today to be lucky. Every time I go out now, it's no without my lucky hat, no without my lucky coat, and no without my lucky shirt.
I would like a wine. Any special color? Red, please.
Yes.
Is he expecting you?
I think he's expecting to see me.
Who is this Picasso?
He's a painter.
Or says he's one. I've never actually seen any of his works, but he's nuts about blue, they say.
Oh, yes, he's a painter. He gave me a drawing.
What are they like?
They're strange, really. Nothing like, that, I'll tell you.
There's nothing wrong with this picture. I got out of my grandmother's house just after she died. Well, while she was dying. Sheep in the meadow, in the fog. Beautiful.
So that's not what I see.
What do you see, Einstein?
Well, I prefer to take it further. Observe how the sheep are painted small, consumed by the weather and the terrain. So I see the power of the landscape over the small things. For me, it's the meaning that gives it its value.
Good Lord! Sheep, meadow, fog, perish!
There's a problem.
What?
Well, it seems to me, if you judge it only by its meaning, then any bad painting is just as good as any good painting if they have the same meaning.
Women.
I would like a wine. The purpose of the wine is to get me drunk. A good wine will get me as drunk as a bad wine. And since the result is the same no matter which wine I drink, I'd like to pay the bad wine price. Is that where you're headed, Einstein?
I really don't think he's that clever, Gaston.
Want to see the drawing he gave me?
Wow. I never thought the 20th century could be handed to me so casually. Scratched out in pencil on a piece of paper. Tools thousands of years old, waiting to be used in just this way. I'm lucky tonight. I was open to receive it. Another night I would have dismissed it with a joke or a cruel remark. Why did this happen before, by accident? Why did Raphael doodle this absent-mindedly?
What do you think of the drawing?
What does it matter?
Let me see it. Here.
I liked it all right.
I don't get it.
I don't think it looks like me.
There you go. 4 more opinions. How many opinions could the world hold? A billion? A trillion? Yet we've just added 4. And look, the drawing remains the same.
Hey, look, what kind of person would I be if I didn't form an opinion? I see the drawing, I think about it, and I form an opinion. Suddenly I'm fascinating. And because I'm so fascinating, other people see the drawing and they form opinions too, and soon they're fascinating as well. Soon, whereas before I was in a room full of complete dumbbells, I'm in a room full of completely fascinating people with opinions.
My name's Suzanne.
And you're waiting for Picasso.
Right, do you know him?
Ah, yes, big guy plays the ukulele.
No.
What's his first name?
Pablo.
Oh, no, different guy.
Gaston, lay off. So, how did you meet Picasso?
It was about 2 weeks ago. I was walking down the street up to my flat one day and looked back, and there he was, framed in the doorway looking back at me. I couldn't see him because the light was coming from behind him and he was in shadow, and he said, "I am Picasso." And I said, "Well, so what?" And he said he doesn't know what it meant yet, but it meant something in the future to be Picasso. He says that every once in a while there is one, and he happens to be him. And he said the 20th century has to start somewhere, so why not now? Then he asked, "May I approach you?" And I said yes. He grabbed my wrist and turned it over. I took his fingernail and scratched deeply to the back of my hand. In a second, in red, the image of a dove appeared. And then I thought, why is it that I can hang around with someone for months, and I even like them, but I won't sleep with them? But then someone else does the completely right thing, and I'm right under his spell, not knowing what hit me.
Yeah! Why is that?
Huh?
Never mind.
See, you men are always talking about your things like it's not them.
What things?
You know.
Ah, yes. Louis.
See, it's not them, it's someone else, and it's like some rodent fireworks snaking across town. But women have things too. We just work differently. We work from up here. So when the guy comes on to me through here, he's practically there already done. And the next thing I know, he's inside the apartment, and I asked, "What do you want?" He said he wanted my hair, my neck, my knees, my feet. He wanted his eyes on my eyes, his lips on my lips. He wanted the chairs in the room, the notebook on the table. He wanted paint from the walls. He wanted to consume me until there was nothing left. He wanted deliverance, and that I would be his I didn't ask. Next thing I know, he had to leave, and I thought, sure, and he was gone.
You saw him again?
Oh yes, that night he came back with his drawing. We started kissing. But then he seemed lost in thought, so I asked, what's the matter? And he said he was thinking about something and couldn't stop. Or, no, sorry, he wasn't thinking it, he was seeing it. Oh, when you're with someone who says they're seeing things that can't be named, you either run like hell or go with it. And I'm going with it, and that's why I'm here tonight. He told me about this place that I might see him here, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Sex.
Huh?
Nothing, just thinking out loud.
In a while.
About 8 months. Interesting, really. I saw a cat in the street and bent over to pet it, and it moved just out of my reach. It seemed friendly but nervous, so I followed it. After a few blocks, it stopped at the feet of a woman. I looked up at her and our eyes met. Older, my age, but she was dazzling. Let's just say she had a nice smile. We made love in our place within the hour.
Did you ever make love to her again?
No, I didn't.
See, she was there and you were taken with each other. You men, why is once always enough? Why wouldn't you sleep with her again?
I would have, but she died about an hour later.
Oh!
We both wanted to do it again, and I said I needed an hour to relax. I went downstairs to play with the cat, and there she was being taken out on a stretcher.
Oh my God!
I can't help but think that I killed her. Hurrah!
Hey, what did Picasso say about my bar?
Oh, he said this is where artists come to talk about
Manifestos? Manifesto?
Anyone want a coffee?
That's what I could go for.
Green or black?
No, a manifesto. I could go for a nice juicy manifesto. It would be nice to wake up in the morning and have a raison d'être with your morning coffee, wouldn't you say? I agree.
Did Picasso say he was working on a manifesto?
Oh no, he said he didn't need one, and if he had one, he would have depleted it before he had written it down. Oh, actually, one other thing. Just before he left, he walked up to the window, reached down on the sill, and like lightning grabbed the pigeon. Then he took it in his hand and turned it over and talked to it and soothed it, and the pigeon fell asleep like it was hypnotized. And then he reached over on the sill again and dropped the pigeon, and it fell straight down, 2 stories down like a stone, and just inches before it would have hit the ground. It turned itself over and started fluttering like mad up past us, up the buildings, and away into the night. And then Picasso said, "That's like me!" And he was gone. Have a refill.
I'll get it. Anyone else want a refill?
Anyone know what 63 francs 33 minus 37 francs 17 is?
Why don't you let me do that, Freddie?
25 francs 16.
You're positive.
25, 16.
You're sure.
Positive.
Absolutely. It's just that you came up with that number awfully fast.
Look, if you want it to be different, there's nothing I can do for you.
I'm just gonna work on it later.
It'll be the same later.
Yes, but my accountant friend's coming by tomorrow. He can check it. He checks everything.
You can have a math squad from the Vishnu Numerical Center for the Intellectually Profound come and check it. And it will still be 25 francs 16.
All right.
Jeez, Freddie, take his word for it.
Are you a professor?
No, I'm not.
What do you do?
Well, by day, I work in a patent office.
What do you do there?
By day, I register notions. That's what they are, really. Notions. Shortcuts. Ways to get something to do something quicker.
Then by night?
Well, by night, the stars come out.
The stars in the sky?
No, the stars in my head.
And when the stars in your head come out?
I write them down.
Uh-huh. You been published?
No, not yet.
Yeah, well, we're all writers, aren't we? He's a writer who hasn't been published, and well, I'm a writer that hasn't written anything.
There's your welcome here. We get a lot of artist types. Writers, poets, painters. What do you write about?
Well, that's kind of hard to explain.
Just try. Simplify it. Can you say what your book's about in one sentence?
Well, it's about everything.
Like relationships between men and women?
Bigger.
Like life from birth to death?
Bigger.
Like the warring of nations and movements of people? Bigger. Like the Earth and its place in the solar system?
Keep going.
Like the universe and everything contained in it?
What's up there?
Oh my goodness! How big is this book?
few pages.
Oh, not too long. That's good. Maybe we can get you in contact with some of our publisher friends. What's the title?
The Special Theory of Relativity.
Catchy.
I can't wait to not buy
Is
it.
it funny?
Well,
Because if it's funny, you can really sell a lot of books.
it is so funny.
Oh, it is so funny!
Well, that depends on your definition of funny.
Well, does it make you laugh?
No.
Chuckle?
No.
Smile?
I wish I could say
So
yes.
it's not funny?
No.
But you just said it's funny.
I wanted to sell more books.
Okay, could it have illustrations?
Impossible.
Why not? Might look good. Give it some zip.
Well, illustrations are two-dimensional.
I know what you mean, but a good draftsman will give you some very realistic three-dimensional drawings.
I need 4.
Einstein! I'm trying to help you here. You want your book to have impact, don't you?
Sure.
And if you want it to have impact, people have to read it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in your field, how many people do you figure have to read your book in order for it to have some impact?
1.
No! In order for your book to have impact, a lot of people have to read it. Everyone in the street has got to have one.
No. Only 1. Max.
Max?
Max Planck. A German physicist. If Max would have read my book, that would make my reputation.
Well, you're lucky. If your market is one person and you know his name, then you can put a limit on what you want to spend on advertising. How old are you?
I'm 25.
You don't look 25.
Yeah, I realized at a young age, I'm that kind of person that will always look 86.
Hey Einstein, last week I made a deal for 12 bottles of Chablis at 17 francs each, but when they came, I only got 11. How much do I owe him?
Leave him alone.
187 francs.
See, as long as he's here, we might as well do it. Last week I made a deal with Alphonse for a few cases of port at 26 francs each, but he said depending on the year of the port, he would give me a discount. If the port came and was newer than 1900, he would give me a 4% discount, keeping 3% on bottles before 1900 and 2% on bottles before 1895. Now, when the ports came, two cases had 9 bottles dated after 1900 and 15 bottles dated before 1895, and one case had 18% of the bottles before 1900, and the rest were evenly split between after 1900 and before 1895, respectively. How much the hell do I owe this guy?
Oh, good grief!
He's stumped!
Huh? Sorry, I wasn't listening. Just kidding. Here's your answer. 2,245 francs 73, given that the X and parentheses Y is your mean price per bottle.
2,245. Did you say Y and parentheses X?
Y and parentheses X? Oh, that's funny.
What's the date today?
It's safe.
And the year?
You don't know the year.
I know the year, it's just sometimes when I'm writing it down quickly, I'm off by 10, sometimes 15 years. But now that I think about it, I know that it is 1903.
Oh,
04. The year just changed, it's January.
4. October.
The date isn't important anyway.
Just say that it's the first decade of the 20th century.
Gosh, that's what it is, isn't it? The first decade of the 20th century. I'm glad the 19th century is over. It was a bad century.
What's there not to like about a
Well, for
century?
one, the pollution, soot, garbage, smoke.
Horse manure?
You disagree?
No, I'm adding to the list.
Oh, yeah. Horse manure, noise.
This century will be better now.
What do you see for the future?
Well, let me ask you. What do you see?
I'll answer. I see air travel becoming common with hundreds of people being flown in giant airplanes. I think we'll see images sent through the air and receivers will become so popular that mass tapes will diminish their potential. The city of Hiroshima will be completely modernized. Cruelty will be perfected. There will be a brief craze for lawn flamingos, and by the end of the century, smoking in restaurants will be banned. Music by 4 lads from Liverpool.
Oh, brother.
Right.
Next.
Oh, well, fine.
I think that a yo-yo will be a wonderful thing to play with and a terrible thing to be.
Here's mine. Led by Germany, this will be known as the Century of Peace. Clothes will be made of wax. A carton of cigarettes would be one of the best get-go gifts you can get someone. There will be a craze for automobiles, but it will pass. And the Wright brothers will be long remembered for their creation and manufacturing of a low-calorie fudge.
Here, here.
Anyone in tonight?
Not that you're looking for us to go.
I got a Matisse today. Small, but juicy. It's a little beachscape. Give me a room. Here, take a look. It says everything about Matisse that you'd want to know. I bought 8 drawings from him today and got him to throw it in. The smaller it is, the harder it is to say it. No doubt about it. And this thing has got it all. This thing will hold a wall. Stick it up there. Look at it. Beautiful. Still works. Still works. Still holding the wall. Lost it there. But damn, you see what I mean? Not really. Up to 10 feet away. That bar is working for the Matisse. Then the bar takes over. Another Freddy.
Is it getting windy in here?
What makes it so great?
I'll show you what makes it great. This is what makes it great.
The frame.
The boundaries, the edge. Otherwise, anything goes. Tell me, do you want to see a soccer game where the players can run up into the stands with the ball and order a beer? No. You've got to stay inside the boundaries to keep it interesting. In the right hands, this little space can be as fertile as Eden.
Say, that frame is about the size of my book.
Well, then I hope you choose your words carefully. Ideas are like children. If you don't watch over them, they might go wrong.
I know what he means.
I told that to Apple and Air. He squiggled and squirmed. I'm gonna turn a nice profit on that. You watch.
Well, considering you got it for free, that shouldn't be too difficult.
Well, you got it because you loved it. How can you sell it?
What do you do?
I'm a physicist.
Good. Then you must know how naive a question can sound. I'll tell you how it works. When I bought it, I identified it. I've identified it as a work of art, something worth having. Once I've done that, I don't need to own it. It'll always be mine. And trust me, Matisse is happy about it too. He wants his work out there, out of Paris. I've sold to dealers in Russia, and I've sold to dealers in America, and I've sold to dealers in Paris who've sold everywhere. And they like to buy from me because, frankly, they don't get it. And they want me to discern the good ones from the bad ones.
Well, how did you learn to do that?
I wish I knew, but I can look at a painting and know that one is for me, and that one is for people whose idea of art is something ugly done by a relative. They come into art galleries with big bags of money and say, show me what you've got. Taste is no object. Another one, Freddie.
Finally, a customer.
Freddie, take out the book.
Come on.
No, take it out. Corbett. Corbett. Corbett.
Wait a minute. This is a book about Corbett.
Titian. Raphael. That's a tough one.
You got the other ones. What's so tough about that one?
He's got his thumb over the name. Us art dealers are notorious for our sense of humor.
All right, that's enough.
Who's this?
Was he in here tonight? Not yet. Are you meeting him here? Don't know. I can wait. A trifle hasty. Do you want to sell it?
Not for anything.
For 50
It's mine forever.
Get him to sign it. It'll be worth more.
Hey, Sco, you're the expert. What do you see?
Oh, that? I see a 500-pound lemon.
What?
Well, I know there's two subjects in paintings that no one will buy. One is Jesus, and the other is sheep. Love him as much as they want. No one really wants a painting of Jesus in the living room. You invite a couple friends over, and you're having a couple drinks, and there's Jesus over the sofa. Somehow, it doesn't work. You don't want him in the bedroom either, obviously. I mean, you want Jesus watching over you, but not while you're in bed. Maybe you could put him in the kitchen. But that'd be sort of insulting to Jesus. I mean, Jesus, ham sandwich. Jesus, ham sandwich. I wouldn't like it, and neither would he. You can't sell a male nude either, unless they're messengers. But why a messenger would want to be nude, I have no idea. In fact, if a nude man came up to my door and I asked, "Who is it?" and he said, "Messenger," I would damn well look and see if he has a pouch, and if he doesn't, I'm not answering the door. Sheep are the same way. Don't ask me why, you just can't sell them.
Here's what I don't get. The days go by, no one different than the last. People go in, people come out. So why all the nuts show up in one evening?
Well, Picasso is definitely coming in tonight.
I hope he comes in.
Me too. He owes me a bar bill.
Maybe I could get a painting out of him.
I'd sure like to meet him.
Well, we all have an interest in Picasso. Let's give a little toast to him.
I'll do it. Everyone,
I've been thinking about sex all day. Can't get it off my mind.
I've been thinking about it for 62 years.
I did 16 drawings today, 2 in pencil, the rest in ink, all women. What does that tell you? It tells me that a painter has the obligation to pursue beautiful women. Otherwise, the mind drifts off the easel, out the window, across the street, and to the grocer's daughter. You were proposing a toast?
yes, everyone, to Picasso.
Hey to him. I mean, did you talk about anything besides me? Did the weather come up?
It was mostly about you.
God, that feels good. How lucky are you to be talking about someone and then they come? Anyways, how do I look? Be honest. Yes, but we've got to do something about it. Come by my place tomorrow. I have something to show you. Something's afoot. The moment is coming. I can feel it.
Well, the last month's work has been spectacular. In fact, I sat in front of the last piece I got from you with some friends and explained it for 2 hours.
Did they get it?
I don't know. They left after the first hour.
Forget it. That was piss, I tell you. This is different already. There is nothing in my way anymore. If I can think it, I can draw it. Before, I would have an idea, and then months later, I would draw it. The idea was months ahead of its execution. Now, the idea is only minutes ahead of the pencil, and one day, they'll be simultaneous. Do you know what that's like? The feeling of undiluted vision?
Well, I have a vague idea.
Are you an artist?
No, I'm a scientist, but sometimes I feel like an artist.
Well, multiply that by 1,000 and you'll know what it's like to be me. I don't believe you've had the pleasure.
Well, you have.
My name's Picasso.
How nice for you.
Look at it.
It's a dove.
How much? 50 francs. Does that sound fair to you?
Yes, that's fair.
It's the price of fame, I guess.
How much for the drawing?
Whatever's fair.
Fair?
Very fair. This one's signed.
Sign it. I would like another
I would like a motor car. Can I do that, Siggo? Can I drop my way into a car? Can I draw a camera and you sell it and suddenly I get a camera? Can I get anything I want just by drawing it?
Can you? Not yet.
And don't worry because I never would. And don't you forget it.
Well, if you need a camera, I've got one.
Good. Wait a minute. You have a camera?
Yes, I have a camera.
How did you get a camera?
I bought it.
Well, I have one question. If I can't afford a camera, then how can you afford a camera? How much are you selling my paintings for?
Maybe twice what I paid for.
Twice? Twice? I'm so depressed.
Actually, that's not that bad. You should go to make it on the drinks.
God, he's good. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. Just when you're the swing of things, someone has to come along and ruin it for you. It's so new, I can't even be mad. This is not painting, it's alchemy. Ouch. It's sizzling hot. Take it from me, folks, the boy can paint. What's he like?
What's he like? Well, he's earnest, talented obviously, nice to be around. Self-deprecating.
Good. It saved me the trouble. See, Siggo, here's the difference between you and me. You look at that nasty old thing and see sheep in a landscape.
She's not the only one.
Right, she's not the only one. Enter me. I see things differently. I see something, an empty space with something hideous in it, waiting to be filled with something new. Advancing out into the unknown, the undrawn. The new thing must be coaxed out of its cave, wrestled and pinned up on the wall like a hide. When I look at Goya, it's like he's reaching through the centuries to touch me on the shoulder. When I paint, it's like I'm reaching forward hundreds of years to touch someone too.
So it's like a relay.
Well, I work in a similar way. I create good things, but with a pencil.
You're just a scientist. For me, the closest distance between 2 points is not a straight line.
Likewise.
Well, let's see one of your creations. Draw.
Done. It's perfect.
Thank you.
I was talking about mine.
It's a formula.
So is yours.
Yours is letters.
Yours is lines.
My lines mean something.
So do mine.
Mine is beautiful.
Many swooned over seeing that.
Mine touches the heart.
Mine touches the mind.
Mine will change the future.
Oh, mine won't!
When a man loves a woman!
What the hell was that?
I don't know, just came over.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go get my camera. A night like this must be preserved on film. Oh, and hey, Picasso, do something about that ovine pastoral, will you?
The idea is coming.
Sounds good. I like it.
The idea is coming. The idea is coming.
Hey, Picasso, you're the least funny guy here. Tell me if you get this joke.
Hey, I'm funny.
Not really.
Tell us all.
So, a man walks into a bakery and he says, "Can you mail a pie?" And they said, "Sure. What do you want the pie to be?" And the man said, "I'd like a pie in the shape of the letter E." And the baker says, "No problem. Come back tomorrow and I'll have it ready for you." So the man comes back the next day, the baker shows the pie, and he says, "You idiot! I wanted a big E! That's a small E! A small E!" So the baker says, "No problem. We'll remake it. Come back tomorrow." So the man comes back the next day, the baker shows the pie, and he says, "Perfect. It's perfect." Then the baker asks, "Where would you like us to mail it?" And he says, "Actually, I think I'll eat it here." Yeah, a guy told me that the other day. I didn't get it either.
I think it's surreal.
Maybe that's why I don't get it. I'm a symbolist.
And a good-for-nothing one at that.
Are you calling me a good-for-nothing symbolist?
What's symbolism?
So far, it's a fancy excuse for not doing the dishes.
That's not fair. Your post-romanticism has gotten us into a lot of hot water around here.
My romanticism is not us!
It most certainly is.
Mia!
Oh!
Mia!
Oh, God! Both of you! This is not some sleazy dive somewhere.
The reason the joke is funny is because of the perfect selection of the letter E. You can't have an A-shaped pie because A serves as both article and noun. Who wants it? You can't have a B-shaped pie because of the confusion of the letter B with the insect. You can't have a C-shaped pie either because he would have never have known if it was a capital C. Because, you know, C is both the same in uppercase and lowercase. I'll get back to D. An F-shaped pie? Plain not funny. An H-shaped pie is unstable. 2 vertical bars with a weaker crossing structure. An I-shaped pie can't have an I-shaped pie either because of the whole dot problem. Do you include the dot where it won't be an I, or do you exclude the dot? Which raises the question, is it a dot or is it a cupcake? A K-shaped pie has Kafka written all over it. You can't have an M-shaped pie because of the whole NW dilemma. And to whom? And, need I mention, Sigma? Can't have an O-shaped pie because the pie is originally O-shaped. Can't have a P-shaped pie either because the phrase P-shaped pie has a naughty calypso rhythm.
Excuse me! You're not going to go through the whole alphabet, are you? Because I might only have a few good years left.
Of course not. Some of them are just so obvious they needed to be mentioned, like the letter Q, for example.
Alright, what's the matter with you?
You can't have a Q-shaped pie because a Q is just an O with a comma through it, and we all know that a comma-shaped pie is just a croissant.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You said you'd come back to D.
No! I mean P.
Wait a minute. You said the joke was funny, but it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I laughed.
No, you didn't.
Well, maybe not now, but I'll laugh later. An icebox laugh.
An icebox laugh?
You don't laugh at the joke now, but later, when you're standing in front of the icebox, you laugh.
E-shaped pie!
See, he's getting it now. Probably through the process of elimination.
So I might laugh at the joke later.
Right.
You mean I might owe it a laugh?
Exactly. See? You're laughing at it now.
No, I'm laughing at something that happened a year ago. I remembered I owed it a laugh.
Well, maybe this thing that happened a year ago wasn't that really wasn't that funny. But you're just laughing at the E-shaped pie joke.
Well, that's a good theory, but there's a problem.
What?
What happened a year ago was really funny. The cat tried to run through the cat door, but it was locked. Now, there is no way that that wasn't funny.
That's good.
What do you say, my dear?
I've had my example of a bad joke.
Oh, come on.
You're a cruel, womanizing bastard.
If you're trying to praise me, that's a poor choice of words.
You're ridiculous.
Look, I meant everything I said that night. I just forgot who I said it to. Stranger things will happen in your younger life. Believe me, worse things.
I believed you.
And I believed it too. And now that I'm seeing you again, my dear, I'm believing it all over again. I remember the blue-green bed with a rose-colored spread over it. On the wall, there was a tin half moon holding a candle. On the bedside table, there were 3 rings, each with a turquoise stone. One with garnet and a pink ribbon next to it. Later, I picked them off the floor. I can't remember your name.
I never told it to you.
Yes, you did. I remember it now.
I don't remember.
Yes, you did. Suzanne.
I don't remember.
Your mouth was inches from my ear. You spoke with your name and then said words half whispered, passionate, obscuring their meaning. Do you remember it now?
Yes.
I drew 3 pictures of you from memory.
You did?
But I can do better.
I'll be there tonight.
That's a coincidence, so will I.
It looks like I've got to get going. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Al. When should I be expecting you?
When the play's over.
What do you mean?
In this part tonight are two men, Picasso and Einstein. Both nearly the same age, they think they're gonna change the future. So let's give it to them and say that they are. 1, 2, there must be a third. There's always a triptych. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, 3 graces, musketeers. How many? 3.
Who is the third point on the triangle, so to speak?
Maybe it's Matisse.
No, Matisse cannot be third. If he wants, he can be fourth, but he cannot be the third point on the triangle.
I'm sorry. A triangle with 4 points will not fly. A triangle with 4 points is what Euclid rides into hell.
Okay, so who was the third? You are lucky tonight! You were here at the moment, and you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I will be changing the century. The other bars know it. You may as well too.
Well, what's your name?
Schmendeman. Charlotte Davenau Schmendeman, but you can call me Charlie.
And how will you change the century?
With my invention,
And what's your invention?
it's an inflexible and very brittle building material.
Well, what's it?
And I'll tell you what it's made from. It's made from equal parts of asbestos, kitten paws, and radium. The only problem with it is that building considerations only allow it to be used in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and the island of Krakatoa, east of Java. But still, that's a big market. So everyone have a drink.
On you?
No. Just have a drink and remember my name. Schmendeman. You see, there's a distinction between talent and genius. And I'm genius. Talent is the ability to say things well, but genius is the ability to, well, say things. And I'm gonna say this. If you can't keep up with inventing and changing things for the future, then you're not doing anything really! So just think of something grand and it will come to life. Only a true genius can do that. AKA me. Talent sells 1 million in a year, but genius sells 5,000 a year for 200 years! Can you compute that, or am I moving too fast for you? You have to work to have talent, but genius comes gift-wrapped in a blue box from Tiffany's.
Picasso, Einstein, and Schmendeman. Somehow it doesn't have a ring.
Which one is Picasso? Oh, I've heard of you. Nice work. If you like blue, come to think of it, it's been a while since we've had a Spaniard. I mean, I think it's time for another Velasquez. I'm just needling ye. You would be interested in my process. Creation is easy. Just follow the path of least resistance. You gotta paint, but you feel like dancing? Dance! You gotta write, but you feel like singing? Sing! That's what I did. Remember, the shortest distance between 2 points is 1.5 feet. No pun intended.
No pun achieved.
I struggled to be a writer, but my heart told me to invent a very brittle and inflexible building material, which, by the way, is called Schmendamite. And I did. That's why I know my place in history is secure. I followed my heart. Next bar! Schmenda, Schmenda, man, man, man! What? I just had another idea. A tall, pointy cap for dunces.
What the hell was that?
I admire her confidence and nothing else.
Here's the way I look at it. We're not so much going to change the century as bend it. Let's say Picasso here is a genius. The century's just flying along in space and it flings itself off and picks it up speed, whizzes past Picasso here like a comet veering left at the sun. The century's just zigzagging along, bending and curving, influenced by the powerful gravity of people like Picasso. Well, the century, because we're in it, appears to be heading straight.
How can something actually be curved when it appear to be going straight? come on, buddy.
Gee, I never thought of that one, I guess. How about the horizon, you nitwit?
Are you trying to get my goat?
No, I'm just trying to explain something. You'll be happy to know that not only is the horizon something that is curved but appears to be straight, but is space in general.
Horse manure.
It just so happens that it is.
Is not.
Is too.
Is not.
Is too.
Not.
Pose. Pose.
Mine's not a formula.
Is too. Is not. Is too. Is not. Near. Pose. Near. Pose. Pose. Not only is space curved, but light has mass, and it bends when it passes by large masses like the sun at finite speeds regardless of the motion of its source! Oh god. I just blurted out the ending of my book. What I just said is my business, and I hope will not leave this room.
Oh, I'm so glad you saw me. I was just rolling for the phone.
You want to hear a woman's opinion on this?
There's no woman's opinion. It's science.
Are you saying that women can't be scientists?
No, I'm just saying that there's no gender-related opinion on this matter. Madame Curie didn't say, "Oh, I've discovered radium. Let me get a man's..." No. There's no man's opinion, there's no woman's opinion. It's sexless.
I know the feeling.
What I just said is the fundamental end-all, not subject to opinion, absolute truth. Well, depending on where you're standing.
Are you through?
I am.
So much thinking.
You should try it sometime.
How do you draw something? It seems so impossible.
It's all in the wrist.
Well, and I maintain that that wrist starts up here.
I had an idea once.
Which century?
2 years ago, I had to paint my shutters. I thought about it for a long time. Should they be a light color or a dark color? For a while, forest blue seemed nice, but there is no such color as forest blue. I tried to flip a coin, but it landed on the roof. I tried to envision what are shutters really and what would their natural color be. But you see, shutters don't occur in nature, so they don't have a natural color. I thought, maybe I'll just take off the shutters and move to a land where there are none, and frankly was quite depressed. And finally, there was a sale on green paint. And that was it.
My process is just like that, but skip the beginning, the middle parts, and jump straight to the end. If I thought about what color I was using, it would just slow me down.
I know what he means.
Well, I see some painters struggling with this, killing themselves over it even, and I don't see their worry. I just put the pencil to the paper and it comes out. Not the craft, mind you, that was difficult to get. The ideas are a different matter. They swoop down, follow me like rain and land with a crash.
Well, they thunk too.
Absolutely, they thunk.
You too?
Yes, and pop.
Well, pop, yes, of course it goes without saying, but they never seem to flow though.
Never flow. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Where do they come from, these ideas?
Before me, artists used to get ideas from the past. Now, they're flying from the future, fast and loose.
Absolutely from the future.
In the time of pencil to paper, the future is mapped out in the face of the person drawn. Imagine that the pencil gets pushed hard enough that the pencil goes through the paper into another dimension.
Yes.
A kind of fourth dimension, if that's what you want to call it.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're saying this. A fourth dimension?
And that fourth dimension is the future. The pencil goes through the future, sucks some ideas, and puts them on the canvas, for Christ's sake. And what the hell do you know about it anyway? You're just a scientist. You just want theories.
Yes, and like you, those theories must be beautiful. You know why the sun doesn't revolve around the earth? Because the idea isn't beautiful enough. If you want the sun to revolve around the earth for the theory to fit the facts, you'll have to have the planets going backwards, the sun doing loop-de-loops. Too ugly, way ugly.
So, you're saying that you bring beautiful ideas into me?
No, we have a theory and we see if the facts can fit it.
So, you're not just describing the world as it is.
No, we're creating a new way to look at the world.
So, you're saying you dream the impossible and put it into effect?
Exactly.
Brother.
Oh, please. You two are spouting a lot of baloney, and I say the only reason you got into physics and art in the first place is to meet girls.
What? Oh, you really thought I said to myself one day, how can I meet a lot of girls? Oh, I know, I'll develop a unified field theory.
I'm not saying you're not sincere, but let's face it. You've got some splashy party talk, and you have got the oldest and most perfect pickup line. Oh, I like to draw you.
That's outrageous.
Maybe it's unconscious. I just think somewhere way back, maybe you realized you're not the most handsome things around, and decided to go a different route.
I'm disgusted. Countess?
Bert?
Did you go to Bar Rouge?
Of course not. That's where you said we'd meet.
How stupid of me. Of course you'd come here.
Of course. I think it parallels just like you, my love. I thought about going to the Bar Rouge, but then I remembered how you never say what you mean. Unless it has to do with numbers. Now, what was that you were saying, how it's impossible to distinguish emotion produced by an outside gravitational force?
God, she's sexy. You know, it's impossible to distinguish two bodies unified in a field.
Oh, Albert, I'm so happy you feel the same.
Although, we may never meet again. Like the roots of the sequoia grabbing deep into the Earth's surface. The ideas we have spread tonight will lace themselves irrevocably throughout the century.
This is the night the earth fell quiet and listened to a conversation.
Lapin Agile.
Einstein, Picasso, Einstein, Picasso. My only regret is that we'll be in different volumes of the encyclopedia.
But there'll be no schmendement to come between us.
I envy him.
Why's that?
Because in science, there's no reason to ever get cynical.
Why would an artist get cynical?
I think it's called marketing.
Well, I've got to run next door and catch Antoine before he skips town without paying his bar tab. I might be going a little longer than you think it would take for me to run next door and catch Antoine before he skips town without paying his bar tab, but in theater, that's okay.
Gaston, don't you have to pee?
Not at all. Oh, there it is. What are you putting in these drinks? Liquid?
Tasty, quite tasty.
What was I? Dessert?
What do you mean?
I mean, how many meals have you had today?
Why be nasty? We're not too different.
Oh yes, we slept together, but there's a difference. For me, you're the thing that never happened. You and Freddie exist in separate universes. What I do in one has nothing to do with the other.
How convenient.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not being nasty. I like you. It's just, I know about men like you.
Men like me? Where are men like me?
Have a drink. You don't want me to go on.
No, tell me more about men like me.
Well, a steady woman is important to you, because then you know for sure you have someone to go home to in case you can't find someone else. You notice every woman, don't you?
Many.
I mean every woman. Waitresses, wives, weavers, ushers, actresses, launderers. You notice them, don't you?
Yes.
And you notice a woman. You think to yourself, well, what would she be like? You could be bouncing your baby on one knee and still you could see a woman walk by and wonder what she would be like to go out with.
Go on.
You have 2 dates in one night when the lights look out and you feel it's your right. The rules, they don't apply to you because the rules were made up by women, and they have to be if there's going to be any society at all. You cancel one when someone better comes along, and they find you funny, bohemian, irresistible. You let them young because then you can't handle them, and they think you're great. You want them when you want them, never when they want you. Afterwards, you can't wait to leave. talent that you are too wise to abuse. And because of that, you will always be desirable. So, when you wear out one woman, there will be another who wants to taste it, who wants to be next to someone like that. So you'll never have to earn a woman. And you'll never appreciate one.
But I appreciate women. I draw them, don't I?
Well, that's because we're so goddamn beautiful, isn't it?
Jermaine! Men want and women are wanted. That's the way it is and the way it will always be.
That may be true, but why be greedy? By the way, I knew you were using me, but I was using you back.
How?
Now I know what a painter is like. Tomorrow night, a street painter maybe, or a bookseller or a newsagent. Now, a street painter may not have anything romantic to say to a girl like me, but I can write my romantic scenarios in my head and pull them down in front of me like a screen to project my fantasies onto. Just like you project yours onto a piece of paper.
Where does Freddie fit in? Why are you with him?
Because occasionally, he says something so profound I'm just glad to have been there. But really, what I wouldn't give for a country boy.
Well, I caught the jerk in time.
Not quite. I heard that it comes here. Is it true? I mean, is it really true? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. May I approach? May I really approach? I've been waiting for this moment forever, imagining what it might be like to finally see into that big, brilliant brain that I admire so much. Your brilliance is so profound. I just want to know what that's like to be someone so smart, who's such a genius. Wait a minute. You're not schmending.
Wow, another typical night.
I learned something here tonight.
What's that?
You take a couple of geniuses, put them in a room together, and gee willikers!
Boy, you really know how to turn a phrase.
Picasso and Einstein, those two are geniuses. That's what it must take to be smart. Brains. An incredible amount of brains. Don't tell me you're a genius too.
Shucks, no.
Would you like a drink?
Sorry, ma'am, don't drink. You got tomato juice? I'm just a country boy.
Tomato juice? You want something in that?
Like what?
Well, like vodka.
You're a kid. By the way, watch the shoes.
What brings you here?
Well, I kind of like surprising people, you know, popping up where you're least expected. So I thought I'd try a little time travel. Try another time zone.
Put some vodka in it.
Y'all seem like some pretty nice folks.
How dare you? This is Paris.
What do you mean, pretty nice folks?
Well, you know, friendly, good-natured, accepting of strangers.
What would I change now?
Where I'm from, that's what people are like.
Well, where are you from?
Memphis.
Memphis, Egypt?
No, sir. Memphis is in America.
I don't trust any country that doesn't eat frogs.
Apparently, the cat door was locked. We've ended up back where we started.
Not only is space curved, so is Paris! Isn't it
Oh yes, we will.
Oh, you and I think alike.
Watch the shoes.
What do you do?
Oh, I guess I sing songs about love.
If only I could sing songs about love.
If I sing songs about love, I remember lovers past.
If only I could sing
sunlight.
If only I could sing songs about love, forget the paint and the brushes, just the moonlight, June night, and you.
In the summer evenings, I would just stand along the sand and sing, sing, sing.
People crowded in a smoky cabaret to hear the song stylings of Albert Einstein appearing nightly with the Kentucky Men.
See what I mean about little them pretty nice folks? Just 6 little cuddly kitty cats.
Good, you're all still here?
That's the camera?
The latest?
You're making them so small.
Okay, everyone, get her over here.
I'd like to order 3 1x2s in the daguerreotype.
Get in a row and squeeze together. I hate having my picture taken. You get in there too.
Well, don't mind if I do. Oh, well.
Who are you, by the way?
I guess you could say I'm a messenger.
In 1904, on this day in 1904, the Lapin Agile was the site of this historic photo. Did somebody say historic photo? Can you still see the others? Sure can. Okay, everybody smile. You're not all smiling. Okay. We'll all think of a word that naturally makes the face fall into a smile and say it at the same time. Does anyone have a word? What's the word? Matisse. Okay. Everybody, say Matisse. Picasso, you're not smiling.
Well, how am I supposed to smile if we're going to say Matisse?
How about Rubens?
We're supposed to smile, not laugh.
How about Michelangelo Buonarroti?
We haven't got the time to say Michelangelo Cannelloni.
El Greco. We can say El Greco.
El Greco doesn't make our mouths go into a smile, it makes it go into an O. We look like fish. El Greco. How about cheese?
Oh, yes!
Cheese. Okay, cheese is good. Chalk up another one for me. Okay, everybody, say cheese. Cheese. Did the flash go off?
Did it go off?
Oh, well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? Woo, that's strong stuff. Boy, oh boy, that is a weird pain.
Weird. It's just cheap.
Shape looks like 5 women to me. You see, you put me on, you see sheep.
I see sheep, she sees sheep, all of us see sheep except for you.
Well, mercy, looks like 5 weird women to me. Where did you say you were from? I'm from the future. And why are you here? She sent me with a message. Who's she? She's the one that whispers in your ear every time you touch the pencil to the paper. What's the message? Are you open to receive it? Yes! Well, you better stand back. I could dream it forever and still not do it. When the time comes for it to be done, God, I hope to be ready for it. For the moment of convergence between the thing done and the doing of it. The thing being made and its maker. Now I'm speaking for everyone, for billions yet to come. I'm taking the part of us that cannot be understood by God and letting it bleed onto the canvas. And it can only be made because I have felt these things. My love, my lust, my greed, my happiness. So this is what it's like.
What?
To be there at the moment.
What moment?
The moment where I left the blue behind. I like wine.
Any special color?
Rosé. My name's Picasso. Are you an artist?
I had my moment.
What kind of?
Well, you know, perfection.
Yes, I know the feeling. I just had it over there.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
I think not many people have it.
No, they don't.
Hard to know what's happening until it's over.
And don't tell anyone that. Better for them to think we always knew.
Yes, sir.
Don't let anyone in on the fact that we can't help it. We're like the chicken who crossed the road. We do it, and we don't know why.
Yes, sir.
And remember, in a sense, we are exalted because we are originals.
Now that's a pretty bold statement, Mr. Picasso, considering we both took ideas from the art of the black man. Whoa!
Did you see that?
The roof is gone.
The stars have come out.
Millions and millions of stars.
Way low.
It's night. I didn't know it was night. You know the whole time traveling thing. I'll arrive somewhere and I won't know if it's lunch or dinner. I put on 18 pounds because of it. Hoping to take it off when I go back.
I want to get a new suit. When I present my paper, I want to be wearing a new suit.
I wonder what I'll be wearing when I paint it.
Probably wearing something white with a big belt. Did you see that?
A shooting star. When they hit the atmosphere, they burn white.
I would leave a long trail, a long string of fire.
From horizon to horizon.
Whoosh.
So bright that when you look away, you can still see it burning against your eyes.
I would like that. A retention of vision.
I'd like that too. Into my 80s, a retention of vision.
I would like it too. Except I don't know what you're talking about.
I hope I don't die young.
Me too.
Are you dead?
Pretty much.
Well, how is it?
I give it a 3.
All those stars. It's a miracle.
Not a miracle. That's just the way it is. A miracle would be, for example, if the stars had spelled out our names in the sky.
My God!
It's a miracle!
Just like Vegas.
I want the time to make enough things.
I want to make Newton's apple jump back into the tree.
I want to reach through the radio and break their hearts.
I want them to see the 1,000 years of tenderness in a woman combing her hair.
I want an idea to take them at light speed into the edge of the universe.
I want them not to be lonesome tonight.
We should make a toast.
Got one?
Got a good one.
Let's.
All for it.
All drink.
I'd like to make a toast to the 20th century.
Why the 20th century?
Heck, I know why.
Why?
Because this is the century when the accomplishments of artists and scientists outshone the accomplishments of governments and politicians.
We shall see.
You can take that to the bank.
I know what he means.
What exactly does he mean, Freddy? You seem to know what everybody means.
Simple. He means that in the 20th century, nothing will outshine the movement of the paint across the canvas, the thought across the mind, or the notes across the staff.
See what I mean?
Now, you all are pretty good drivers, so I'll start you off. The pendulum swings to the left.
The pendulum swings to the right.
The past was driven by horses.
The future is driven by light.
Coconuts! Oh yes! Coconuts! The pelicans are funny.
Oh, indeed, the pelican is a funny.
Say goodbye to the age of indifference.
And say hello to the age of regret. To the 20th century.
To the 20th century.
To the 20th century. Ain't it amazing how the play fits between the time the lights go up and the lights go down?